Hello and welcome to Ridge Model Rail. I'm Alan. In this video we're looking at reed switch installations. Now that I've marked out my placings for the reed switches, I can now start drilling the holes, and then I'll be able to bed them into the plywood base using the Dremel just to take a little notch out. But first I'm going to drill the holes where my two outside dots are on each line, and that's where the reed switch legs will be situated. So now when I remove those pieces of track, I will have holes to use as guides for where the reed switch will go. So now I need to do the other two tracks there, and then we can get the reed switches embedded into the track work. I've been busy. I've made up a mock version of my platform and offered that up, but the main part of my progress is now, if we can see it, I've cut out two slots. One of them's covered by masking tape because that's holding a reed switch underneath the board, so that I can put in the reed switch sensors for the block detection. And for the moment I have just lashed up a cable to my 5-volt supply. I have put my magnet on the underside of my coach. Whether or not it stays in that position, I don't know. I usually put them on the pivot point for the bogies, but this magnet is so strong, it seems, that I can get away with it being a little bit higher up. So I've got it underneath there, and I've just connected up an LED to the wires of the reed switch. I probably haven't got enough hands for this. So I've managed to connect up and fix the LED. So now, as the carriage coach goes over the reed switch sensor, we get a trigger. I'm going to anticipate a double trigger, and in the coding for the sensor I will allow a delay, so that should sort out any problems with double triggering. But yeah, I'm pleased with that. It also means that because I've installed the reed switches from underneath, should anything happen to them, they get damaged, break, stop working, I don't have to rip up all the track to replace them. Whereas if I'd fixed them from the top of the baseboard, although I was going to recess them, they would have been recessed into the board and then ballasted, and I'd never been able to get to them after that. So my light bulb moment, which came to me while I was busy working on other things, was to install it from underneath. Therefore, I can create a little board to screw it in with, and it'll always be able to be adjusted and changed if needed. I've made up my first two reed switch sensor boards, which you can see in the shot here, and I've managed to get hold of some 2mm self-tapping screws of varying lengths from 6mm to 10mm, in various colours as well, a box of 1600. So Amazon managed to find them. Good buy. I will put a link maybe in the description if I can hunt it out from my account, because I think they're well worth it for use with modelling. It's obviously a smaller screw and makes everything easier and neater to fit together. So I've got the reed switch recessed into the baseboard, and then I've created a circuit board, a strip, which has the reed switch 9mm into the board, into the baseboard, and then has solder links to the screw terminals that you can see. So that makes it easy for me to connect it up, but also if there's ever a problem, I don't have to dismantle any ballast or track if I need to swap them out, because it's all from underneath the baseboard. So I'm hoping that that's going to be useful in the future. There's two more to fit on this layout, which will be on the other board, so that we can detect trains in and out of the station and the 2-lane fiddle yard, which I need to get them routed out for the slots and then make up 2 more boards. And then once they're done, we can move on to a bit more scenery, and I can finish working on the circuit board that will control everything. So I'm going to put together the last 2 of my reed switch circuit boards. So I've bent the reed switch up so the legs are bent, and I've made a jig which gives me a 9mm depth. So I place the reed switch into the jig, and then I can offer up the circuit board that I've cut. So if we can get that in focus. There we go. So I've got 3 holes either side of where my reed switch is inserted. So it gives me a space to drill 2.5mm hole for fixing. And then I can pop it into my jig, push it down. Oh. Try and get it even. And then I put a piece of blue tack on either leg just to hold it in place, like that. This one doesn't want to stay equal. So we get it equal in the jig, then we can turn it over, and then I'm going to solder on the inside those 2 legs. Like that. I can take off these bits of blue tack now. And then next I need a double screw pin terminal. And then that can go in the center, in the middle, like so. And I can fix those legs as well. So for this, I simply squish that down on another piece of blue tack. Do my 2 legs. And then the final thing that needs to be done is to attach a short jumper wire between the reed switch and the screw terminals. So I just cut a piece of equipment wire and strip it down. So I've got a long bare section, and then solder both ends to create my joint. Once I've got both bits soldered, snip them, and there we have another reed switch all wired up or soldered, ready to be installed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.